words sadhan and sadhana. Sadhana means your own tapasya. So परमात्मा सिखाते हैं साधन को यूज करो लेकिन साधना को मत छोड़ देना. राइट? साधन को यूज करो, साधना को मत छोड़ देना. साधन को मालिक बन के यूज करो, साधन के गुलाम मत बन जाना. ठीक है? Which means use technology, but don't become addicted to technology. Don't allow yourself to become a slave, which is then so addicted to technology that my sleep cycle is getting affected, my family life is getting affected, my personal life is getting affected. I'm hardly reading, I'm only just stuck to consuming only content from the phone and the internet. So all that has been my choice. Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, every religion on the planet is teaching the religion of the soul, right? Spirituality also is teaching the religion of the soul. So actually it's not very correct to say that they are different. Spirituality comes from the word spirit. Spirit means my Atma, and it is teaching us the religion of the soul, and so is every religion teaching us the same thing. So I don't think it's right to say that they are two different things. I think they're completely same, they complement each other, and they are teaching us the same thing. Maybe sometimes the way of explaining can be different, which is absorbed by the soul when the soul is in the womb of the mother. So if the mother was using all these gadgets while she was carrying the child, it's going to get absorbed by the child right from the womb. Then when the baby is born, the first thing is done, you're clicking pictures with the phone. Everything is there. Then when you want to start feeding the child, because of lack of time or lack of patience, we're not being feeding the children the way we were fed. So, we were fed with stories, with talking. Yeah. Sometimes the mother had to run around the child. The whole day it would take half an hour to feed. Now, lack of time, lack of patience. You just put a screen and give them the food and they will eat it. But because pressure divided by resilience. So pressures are there. Pressures will only increase. Yeah. Pressures will only increase. But stress is not equal to pressure. It's pressure divided by resilience. Resilience means my inner power to cope with that pressure. Meri antrik shakti, that inner power. So why not build up that inner power? The pressure is not in my control, the numerator. It's anything that's going to happen in the world can become my numerator, but inner power. Even children, exam, they are not the first children who are giving an exam.
Yeah.
I think probably we gave tougher exams than them.
That's true.
It was a tougher exam system that time than what it is today. But resilience has dropped.
Namaskar. Welcome to my channel Radio Karishma. I am your host and host Karishma Himmat Singhani. Once again, I am feeling honored and privileged here with a beautiful personality and the studios of Radio Karishma, where we will be talking to this personality who does not need any introduction. But this particular episode or this particular interview would be like the memorable one, not just for me, for the entire audience of Radio Karishma. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I am very privileged and honored to introduce Didi Shivani, who doesn't need any introduction. She is the leading voice of peace and harmony in the world, representing Brahmakumaris. And my privilege and my honor here to be able to meet her and to speak to her live here in Dallas, Pilot Point, Tapasya Dham. Didi, thank you so much for giving us your precious time. Namaskar and welcome to Dallas.
Shukriya. Thank you so much.
First of all, Didi, it's an honor and privilege, as I said, for me to be able to speak to you live. And I know you have addressed so many audiences all through the world, and your interviews are such inspirational and motivational interview, and whatever words you say is like the beacon of spiritualism. Usually, nowadays I have seen, and myself have been in those discussions as well. There is a kind of isolation happening between the religiosity and spirituality. So is it wise to have that kind of bifurcation or differentiation between being religious or being spiritual?
What is the meaning of the word religion? In Hindi, it means dharam. And dharam means quality, duty. So religion means religion of the soul. And what is the religion of the soul? Purity, peace, compassion, wisdom, love, power, bliss. This is the religion of the soul. Religion of the soul means this is the nature of the soul. This is the quality of the soul. Dharam, that is religion. And this dharam has to come in every karam, which means it has to come into action. It has to come into behavior. And every religion, which is Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, every religion on the planet is teaching the religion of the soul, right? Spirituality also is teaching the religion of the soul. So actually it's not very correct to say that they are different. Spirituality comes from the word spirit. Spirit means my Atma, and it is teaching us the religion of the soul, and so is every religion teaching us the same thing. So I don't think it's right to say that they are two different things. I think they're completely same, they complement each other, and they are teaching us the same thing. Maybe sometimes the way of explaining can be different, the way of expression can be different, the methodology can be different, but the intent and the essence is absolutely the same. Teaching every soul the religion of the soul and connecting every soul to Paramatma.
Yes.
Nirakar Paramatma, that supreme power. That is the intent of every religion, and that is the intent of spirituality. And so it is not even right to say I'm not religious, and it is not right to say I'm not spiritual, because that's not the truth. Because Har Ek Atma hai, each one is a soul, so we cannot say I'm not spiritual. I am, because I am the spirit. And when I'm saying I'm not religious or I'm saying I'm not spiritual, I'm actually trying to say I do not want to bring my dharam into my karam. But which is not the truth. Every soul wants to do that.
Yes.
Every soul wants to do that.
Yes.
So actually, every soul is spiritual and thereby implementing the religion into their practical life. So dharam and karam needs to go hand in hand. That will make us religious, that will make us spiritual.
So if somebody says that, oh, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual, so is that the unknowing mistake somebody is making?
Because in today's time, we are connecting religion, or we are perceiving religion only as the rituals.
Yeah.
So when some people say I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, they're trying to say that I am not practicing the ritual. Yeah. But actually every ritual was also teaching us how to inculcate that purity and that peace and power in the soul. But sometimes we were practicing the ritual without understanding the deeper meaning behind that ritual and without implementing the meaning behind that ritual. So if I practice a ritual but I don't implement or inculcate the meaning of that ritual, then I'm not creating that inner strength, that inner power, that purity that I want to do. And because I was not doing it, it was my mistake. If I was not doing it, I was not getting benefit, which I had to get out of practicing that ritual. And so some of us then just started giving it up, saying, I'm not getting anything out of it. This is all just rituals. It was because we were doing it without meanings. It was because we were not doing it with the right intent. So it's not right to say that. Yeah. Because this is our inner quality, this is our original sanskar. We're all children of that one Paramatma, one God. And when we connect to Paramatma, we fill ourselves with those powers and that purity, and that radiate that in every karma.
So beautifully said. Thank you so much, Didi, because these are the questions that usually come into my mind, because I myself being very religious, and because of these conflict statements that I hear from the other side, I tend to, say, okay, I may not be spiritual, but I'm religious. So thank you so much for clarifying. And as I said before the interview, that I am mother of 2 boys, and as a mother, I'm always concerned about this excessive use of technology that kind of is it's helpful in so many ways. In fact, I come from media, so I'm using the technology all the time, so I cannot complain about it. But at the same time, we have seen in recent times that four of us sitting on the dining table and everybody has a phone in their hand, or in the house, even we are trying to call our kids, we are using the phone, can you come down, instead of going there. Right. So what would you like to say to us, to parents, of course, and to the kids, at this overuse of technology? How do we balance that in our life?
See, technology is an instrument. It's called a sadhan, an instrument. Any instrument can be used in different ways. Let's say, for example, a knife is an instrument, okay? Very important part of the kitchen. Can you imagine a kitchen without a knife? It would become very difficult. Everything would become more time consuming. The knife just makes it so easy. Just chop, 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 and within 10 minutes, all your vegetables, your salad, everything is chopped. It's the knife which is doing it. But now, I, the user of that instrument, have a choice how to use that instrument. So I can use that instrument for chopping, which is going to give nourishment and health to people. But I can also use that knife to end somebody's life. Yes. Right? So chaku to wahi hai. Instrument is the same. It's the knife. But how am I using that knife? That depends on the user, not on the knife.
Correct.
Right? The knife is what the knife is. How I want to use it is going to depend on me. So it's not the technology which is a problem. Technology has made life extremely easy, extremely simple. So if you see physically, our life has become very simple. Yes. And most of this technology we have seen in our lifetime.
Yes.
So you and me have grown up with seeing the first television set coming home, the first even landline phone, then the first mobile, then the internet, then the computer, then the laptop, then of course social media, then OTT. We've seen it all in one lifetime.
That's true.
Right? But with each one of them, we realized that life was becoming simpler.
Yes.
Communication is simpler. Everything is becoming simpler. And of course, look at all the gadgets which are used at home, at work, in the kitchen. How much our mothers had to do and what we have to do.
That's true.
It's like completely different, right? So imagine grinding, mixing everything using the hand. Of course, that it still has its own authentic flavor, but we just have to press one button on the mixer and it's all done.
Yeah.
So instrument and technology makes life physically extremely comfortable. Now, if I, the user, don't use it in the right manner, for the right time, in the right way, then physically it's making my life comfortable, but emotionally it started depleting me because I started getting addicted to technology. So there are two words, sadhan and sadhana. Sadhana means your own tapasya. So Paramatma सिखाते हैं साधन को यूज करो लेकिन साधना को मत छोड़ देना. राइट? साधन को यूज करो, साधना को मत छोड़ देना. साधन को मालिक बन के यूज करो, साधन के गुलाम मत बन जाना. ठीक है? Which means use technology, but don't become addicted to technology. Don't allow yourself to become a slave, which is then so addicted to technology that my sleep cycle is getting affected, my family life is getting affected, my personal life is getting affected. I'm hardly reading, I'm only just stuck to consuming only content from the phone and the internet. So all that has been my choice. So we've done it, and हमने देख लिया कि क्या हुआ. Now we've seen the result. Let's take a U-turn.
That's the tough part.
No, it's easy. If I am driving on a way and I'm driving and I suddenly realize, no, I need to change the road because the direction I'm going is not right. It's not giving me the right result where I was driving. So I just need to change the path. So continue using technology, but see how you are using it. You are sitting with everybody. You could be having a good time with family, but you are using the phone. So pause and tell yourself, this is affecting my relationships. You are creating friends online, but you're disconnecting from friends who are around you or family members around you. Tell yourself, this is going to affect my emotional health. You are comfortable talking to strangers.
Yeah.
but you're not comfortable talking to the person sitting next to you, this is a reflection that I am going through something.
Yeah.
So my ability to communicate face to face is becoming difficult, but my ability to chat with a stranger is becoming easy. My ability to write is getting affected, but I can type very fast.
Yeah.
I don't want to read a book, but I'm fine reading on a screen. So these are simple things which I need to pause and say, read on the screen, but also read a book. Type on the phone, but also write. Because everything is impacting the mind, the brain, and the body, and of course the relationships. So it's just time to pause and just say, okay, I will change the way I will use. Use the technology, but go to sleep on time.
Yeah.
Use the technology, but don't use while you are eating your food. Simple. So food was supposed to be mindful eating practice, in silence, connecting to Paramatma, creating higher vibrations, but we are hardly eating.
Yeah.
Because we are putting something into the stomach, but we are connected to, again, TV or internet or the phone. So who is eating? So that is not mindful eating, it's mindless eating. It's affecting the body, obesity, it's affecting the system, how it works here, and everything that I'm consuming from there is also becoming vibrations of the food that I'm eating. So technology is perfect, and thank you to technology for making life so beautiful, and now the rest of it we have to take care.
So yeah, that was my second question that you already answered. I was just about to say that, all these phones and laptops and iPads, they were used as communication tools, as connecting people to people. Instead, we have lost connection, one-on-one connection with each other, with near and dear ones even, because of that. And because of this social media, as you rightfully said, that we are able to chat with a stranger, but we are not able to, converse with the person sitting next to us. That actually, in a way, social media has been boom for many people, but we are seeing, Didi, that because of all these pressures, and then our ability to not to able to connect one-on-one with somebody, but at the same time chatting with stranger is not bringing happiness. In fact, it's actually causing a lot of mental issues.
Yeah, definitely. So let's start changing things at home first.
Okay.
See, anything can be very good, but overuse of anything will have its effects, right? So even if there is a certain food item which is very healthy, but there has to be a certain quantity how much I have to eat it.
Yeah.
Just because it's healthy, I just cannot keep eating it the entire day. That healthy food item would also create a disease because I overate. I overate. So similarly, technology came to make us be able to connect to each other. In one click, we can send a message, we can read, we can connect, we can do everything. But if I overdid it, that is now creating my emotional health issues, my mental health issues, and most important, my relationships, my social health issues. So let's create self-discipline.
Yeah.
So self-discipline is the key. That let's say as a family, we make a decision that once we are at home, we keep our phones away. If there's something urgent, it will ring.
Yeah.
And if it's not urgent, we'll send a message that we'll talk tomorrow. Now I'm at home. So those self-discipline issues we have to create. It's no one else is going to come and tell us what to do. Let us first do it, and then it will empower our children also to start absorbing that. Don't go and tell your children to first do it.
Yeah.
To remember, it is we who started using this technology. They have only followed.
Yeah.
So let's not put the finger there. It is we. So technology was like, these gadgets were like toys which we just got, Our generation was the one who got these toys.
Yes.
To them, we've just handed it over.
Yes.
But we were the ones who got it for the first time. So it's like a child jisko khilona milta hai na. So when they get a toy, they don't want to eat, they don't want to sleep, they don't want to study because they just got a new toy. That's what we did in the last 20 years. We're not eating on time, we're not sleeping on time, we're not just doing anything because of the toy. And now the next generation, which means our children and grandchildren after that, they got it right from when they were in the womb of the mother.
They saw it as lifestyle.
Yeah. So and then in the womb of a mother, what is called as garab sanskar, which means a sanskar which is absorbed by the soul when the soul is in the womb of the mother. So if the mother was using all these gadgets while she was carrying the child, it's going to get absorbed by the child right from the womb. Then when the baby is born, the first thing is done, you're clicking pictures with the phone. Everything is there. Then when you want to start feeding the child, because of lack of time or lack of patience, we're not been feeding the children the way we were fed. So, we were fed with stories, with talking. Sometimes the mother had to run around the child. The whole day it would take half an hour to feed. Now, lack of time, lack of patience. You just put a screen and give them the food and they will eat it. But because they have eaten only that way.
That's true.
And whatever you do while eating. So in Hindi, the line is Jaisa an, vaisa man. So your an, the food, has the vibration of all that you are watching, you're consuming. So the child for the child, that is a habit now. It's a habit, it's a sanskar. But it is an addictive habit.
Yeah.
And so if you take that screen away from them right now, they will scream. And that is a withdrawal symptom, but it's fine. So our generation was addicted to, let's say, alcohol or substances or smoking. But then those who want to give it up, they did go through withdrawal symptom, but that was fine. They knew that this withdrawal symptom will just be for a few days and I will come out of my addiction forever. So this is also an addiction. So there will be withdrawal symptoms. There will be shouting, screaming, banging the floor or the door. It's a withdrawal symptom. Leave it. Don't get panicked and give the phone back to them. Let them scream. It's better they scream now. It's better they cry now. It's better they fight with you now. It's better they scream at you now. No problem. Provided they come out of the habit. Then they won't cry when they grow up. So let's just go back to practicing de-addiction. It will have withdrawal symptoms, but that's fine. It's better to go through that little transition of withdrawal symptoms rather than to mess up with our life.
Didi, you just spoke about the overuse of everything, overdoing. Recently, we have seen, I'm talking about the young men, even the men or women who are in 30s, 40s. Now there is this over-enthusiastic zeal of gymming and, being fit and, more than it's outer body that they're worried about. And we have seen a lot of untimely deaths, even in the gym, while doing treadmill or looking healthy person just died of cardiac arrest all of a sudden. What do you have to say about that?
Well, there's a lot of study, research going on as to why these sudden cardiac deaths, especially post-COVID, has increased in big numbers. And it's not necessary, it's gymming. It's not always been those who were in the gym, so we really cannot put the finger there. Of course, there has to be a certain balance what you're doing there, yes. But it's been happening to anybody. Anybody, not necessary only by gymming. So let's not put the finger there. And so a lot of cardiologists are saying that during COVID and post-COVID, we have started creating more stress than what we were creating before. Because COVID was a time of uncertainty. So there was stress of the disease or losing a family member or losing a job, or business going through its upheavals. During COVID, we got more addicted to screens. One, either because we were studying that way or because we were working that way from home, or was just because we were free and we were locked down. So everything, screen usage increased during COVID. So some people had relationship issues during COVID because they were in a lockdown. Some people healed complicated relationships during COVID. So that COVID 2 years, and after that also there's been so much uncertainty in the job market, in the business, everything is becoming vulnerable. So it is the mind which is creating the stress. And that mind is obviously impacting the body. So while doing everything that you are doing, take out at least 15-20 minutes daily to strengthen the mind. And stop saying that stress is normal and start energizing yourself so that you can face crisis with calm and dignity. So in physics, there was a simple formula: stress is equal to pressure divided by resilience. So pressures are there. Pressures will only increase.
Yeah.
Pressures will only increase. But stress is not equal to pressure. It's pressure divided by resilience. Resilience means my inner power to cope with that pressure. Meri antrik shakti, that inner power. So why not build up that inner power? The pressure is not in my control, the numerator. It's anything that's going to happen in the world can become my numerator. But inner power. Even children, exam, they are not the first children who are giving an exam.
Yeah.
I think probably we gave tougher exams than
That's
them.
true.
It was a tougher exam system that time than what it is today. But resilience has dropped. So that same exam, but they are creating anxiety, they're creating panic attacks, they are having to take medicine a day before the exam. Some people don't want to suddenly go for the exam in the morning, they're just going blank. And some people actually contemplating giving up life just because of an exam. So that just shows that the exam has not changed. The exam is what the exam was, and with all this technology, it should be easier to give the exam compared to what we never had all this technology. But resilience has dipped.
Yeah.
So let's start working on the denominator. So that's where you integrate spiritual practices into your lifestyle. So if anybody says, I am not spiritual, they are saying, I am not going to do anything to strengthen my mind.
Yeah.
So spirituality is not about changing the clothes you wear. Spirituality is all about changing the way you think.
Yeah.
It's about the way you think. So let's work on that resilience. The denominator, pressures will increase, but let's increase resilience even more than that and start reducing our stress levels, because it's not normal to be stressed, it's normal to be peace.
Yeah.
It's normal to be power. And then your body will respond. And also healthy lifestyle, of course, with that.
Before I ask you those few tools that will help us increase, I want to ask you one more stressful question. It is the right now American society is facing in general. And being a mother here, my two boys out in this society, besides technology, there are different social challenges now, which actually my generation, being a parent, I was never aware of. The crisis, the confusion in youth's mind about their identity. So much so that now there is an identity crisis, even they are confused about their gender, as young as 8-year-old, And I happened to talk to a pediatric psychiatrist. And she said, I receive many patients, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, they're confused about their gender. So this is the new social challenge that we are facing in this society. How do we prepare ourselves to, be ready to give answers to the questions asked by our kids who are going in that society? But we are not aware of these problems,
Spirituality first teaches us our identity, because actually the body is not our identity. It is not. A body is the costume that I wear, right? So male, female is the gender of the costume we wear. So we always say this is my body. We never say I the body. So I will say my hand is paining, my head is hurting. Today my entire body is hurting. We never say I the body is hurting. We say my body is hurting. So the body is like a costume. But who am I who is saying my head is paining? I'm not saying I head is paining. I'm saying my head is paining. I'm saying I sprained my foot. I didn't say I sprained I foot. So really the body is not the identity, it's the truth. The body is not the identity, but then what is the identity? I am that energy which is using this body. The energy which thinks, the energy which feels, the energy which takes a decision, the energy which comes into action. That energy is the spirit, the soul, Atma, consciousness, light, power. Words many. But word is not important. Important is the understanding that I am that energy which uses this body. The I, the soul, has no gender. I, the soul, has no gender. It's energy. But the body is male or female gender, right? So no confusion about identity at all. Identity is कि मैं आत्मा हूँ, मैं शक्ति हूँ. I am this powerful energy and this body is for me to use and to come into action. So let's go back to actually our identity.
Yeah.
Let's go back to our identity.
That's true.
And that is why when we say the word spirituality, which means a personality who remembers that I'm a spirit. Spirit means I'm the soul, I'm that energy. And when I remember that I am this soul and you are another soul, there's actually no gender bias.
That's true.
Because we're all the same. We're all the same. We are all equal. So it's like you are wearing a green color sari, I'm wearing a white color sari. So our sari is different.
Yeah.
But you and I are same. Similarly, your body, my body is different. But you and I are same. And that I is a pure, powerful, divine, peaceful, loveful soul. That is my identity. Now bring your identity into action. That is spirituality. Let's not complicate simple matters.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say to the kids?
It's only an influence of the content that we are consuming. It is only an influence of what's happening around us. So someone has to start off something and then it just goes.
Yeah.
And then if I'm not doing it, then I'm supposed to be outcast.
Yes.
That is the thing. So to take care, nobody knows me better than myself. Nobody else is going to come and tell me. So I know myself. Let me not confuse myself just because of what other people are saying.
Yeah.
And I do not have to get influenced by peer pressure and what everybody is talking. Just have to pause and spend time with myself, and you know the truth. You know the truth. But when I don't spend time with myself, then I'm always influenced by what other people are saying. And sometimes I know what is right, but yet I will get swayed away into another direction only because I need their approval and their validation.
Yeah.
It's like even a simple thing like social media. If there are 20 children in a class, but if 2 children do not have social media handles, then they are an outcast.
Correct.
Just because you're not doing what everybody is doing, you are an outcast. But those 2 children, they need to understand if they believe what they're doing is right, then just stand for your right even if you're the only one. So this thing of I am good only if everybody else accepts me is getting children to get sucked into anything and everything that is being fed to them only because that gives them social validation. So again, bring back the spiritual power into your house.
Yeah.
Nourish your children with that energy right from the time that they were in the womb. Even if they have grown up now, you strengthen yourself, your vibrations will strengthen them. Your vibrations will strengthen them, and that will help them to be themselves, even if they're the only one in their whole social circle. That's the power which we need right now.
So finally, Didi, I would like to, advise us or guide us a few simple tools that we can, bring into our practice on day-to-day life to bring that balance and all the spirituality or the inner peace that we are talking about.
Yeah. So first and foremost, time with yourself is called meditation. Not with people, not with gadget, just strengthening yourself. So like you said, we go to the gym to strengthen the body. We meditate to strengthen ourselves, because to the gym also the body will get strengthened. But meditation is strengthening the I, the soul. So we begin our morning with meditation, at least 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, then of course an hour, whoever wants to do more. So that is the best way to begin the day, because you're strengthening yourself first thing in the morning, and you are increasing that resilience power, the denominator of pressure divided by resilience. Second thing that needs to be inculcated is healthy content.
Yeah.
So content is emotional diet. We are consuming so much content which has ego, lust, greed, jealousy, comparison, competition, crime, terror. We are consuming that content, and whatever content I consume, that becomes my thought process. My thought process comes into karma, and that creates my destiny. So spirituality teaches me to consume healthy content, again another 20 minutes during the day, which means I'm consuming content of purity, peace, power, compassion, forgiveness, unity, empathy. I'm consuming that content daily. So when I consume that content, that becomes my thought process. That comes into my karma, that changes my sanskar. So one is meditation, the other is spiritual study, which means healthy content, healthy emotional diet. Third, food. Food. Because jaisa an vaisa man hai. So take care of the food, not just in terms of the nutrients. Obviously it has to be healthy nutrition wise, but it also has to be healthy vibration wise. And the simplest way for that is first experiment with a plant-based diet. Because an animal-based diet has pain, it has fear, it has anxiety, it has violence, it has death. Just experiment for 3 months with a plant-based diet. Second, as far as possible, eat at home. Food that is bought is cooked for profit. It's not cooked with the intention of nourishing you with good health. It's cooked for profit. It's cooked as a business model. It's cooked in a hurried state, and I don't even know the state of the mind of the person who's cooking for me. So as far as possible, eat at home. Cook yourself with a very peaceful, powerful mind. Cook as if you're making prasad. In the highest energy, in that meditative state, saying your prayers, saying your hymns. Cook in that state and see the magic that it will create on the family. So an is another very important part. And another part is sleep cycle. Early to bed, early to rise. Now our children have changed that. They are sleeping at a time when we should be waking up.
That's true.
So in Bharat we call it Brahmakumaris, Amrit Vela, which means that early morning, highest vibrational time, which is between 4 to 5 a.m. That is the time to wake up. It's the highest vibrational time. Intuition power is highest at that time. Clarity of thinking is highest. Decision making is accurate. Energize yourself. Children are going to sleep at that time now. So anything you do against nature, it will take a toll on you. So that time band of sleeping between 10 to 4 is very important. And just before sleeping, don't consume negative content, because that is going to get processed on your mind while you are sleeping, and that is what is increasing anxiety, because just before going to sleep you're watching a crime show, you're watching a thriller, you are watching, so obviously it will create anxiety because it's going into your subconscious while you are sleeping. So very simple habits, actually nothing new, just what we used to be, let's go back to being that and creating many more miracles in life.
Thank you so much, Didi. These are nothing new points, but they make so much sense when you are speaking. Thank you so much for your divine presence, and thank you so much for giving us your precious time. It was like, I wish we could talk more. I can sit here for an hour and hour, but still, I mean, I'm very grateful that I got the little time, and my audience got this little time with you and listened to your divine and wise words. Thank you so much, Didi. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Hello. I hope you enjoyed watching today's interview as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. For more such awesome content, please like, share, and subscribe my channel, Radio Karishma. Your support and love is much appreciated. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Karishma saying bye-bye for now.